Michael sounds like a bass player now.
Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight I'm delighted to be joined by Birmingham-based progressive metalcore band A Titan, a Deity. Tonight we've got guitarist vocalist Ben, we've got guitarist Ash, and we also have Luke on vocals. Mitch on bass and vocals and Alex on drums are too shy to come on tonight, so they're just going to be talked about for the rest of the interview. So it's great to see you guys then. How have you guys been doing? Have you managed to escape all this COVID nonsense in the last couple of years?
Somehow we have, I think. Well, I think some of us have had some close calls, haven't we, lads?
I got it in February.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to not catch it, thank God.
Yeah. I mean, I do know like a vocalist of another band who caught it and it actually affected his vocal cords. It took a lot of training, a lot of time to get it back, you know. Kieran of Ashen Crown, you know, so it's not something to be laughed at, you know.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that you guys are fitting well, and obviously we're not here to talk about COVID, we're here to talk about A Titan, a Deity then. So already this year you released 2 singles, namely I.O. and Bleak. So how did it feel to get the new songs out there for the masses to hear then?
Amazing. Fucking amazing. Sorry, I don't my language, I know from my lads.
You're allowed to swear, just don't say the C word.
Right, sweet. Yeah, fucking amazing. Been sitting on this new stuff for so long now, haven't we, boys? And it's just so good to release it all and watching people's reactions to it and all the kind words to receive it.
Yeah.
It's just so, so sick. It makes me feel warm inside.
We'd wrote half of this stuff before COVID. Like,
you're joking, that long ago?
Some of it was all getting pieced together before then. And then, like, instead of like sit back on our asses during COVID, we decided to push forward like remotely and get all of this stuff done. So we got it all like pre-production, all done, pre-prodded. And then we went into the studio September last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, last August.
Something like that, yeah.
Last August. Got them down with our good friend Miroslav. Sound great, yeah. And then we're pushing those out, and them 2 are just the start, really.
Yeah. So these are you guys already feeling that these are old songs, and yet they're just seeing the light of day just now? Like, are you kind of feeling like you're kind of, you can't really be kind of sick playing them yet, because I don't know how many gigs that you've had recently, but must still be exciting to play them live, obviously. But at the same time, you're like, I want to play our new songs, because I imagine you've been busy writing.
Yeah, we've been writing a few new things, haven't we, lads? Like, it was good to play the new stuff live. Like, it kind of gave them a second wind because we've sat on them for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're writing some new stuff now. It's sounding really good as well.
So I see how you've had the songs for a couple of years. Then, is the videos that have been released, the singles that have been released, has that been the same for the last couple of years, or have you changed it? Like even like 6 months ago, 3 months ago, has it always been the same?
I think
They've been quite recent.
Sorry, Ash, go on.
Oh, you carry on.
Quite a lot of the tracks that we recorded last August changed quite a bit when we went into the studio to do them. So I think Bleak stayed pretty much the same, and Aya was pretty much the same, but the other tracks we recorded sort of took on the life of their own, really, when we were recording them with Slav, which was really interesting to see like how much they changed stuff from the first couple of demos that we were prepping in COVID.
Yeah, cool. Thanks very much for that. But you've also got a new song coming out on Friday entitled Heirloom. How does this song compare to the previous 2 then? What can we expect?
This one turned out quite a bit different, really. So the other songs that before we went into the studio, we had pretty much everything set. We knew exactly how it was going to sound, like the instruments, any samples that we were going to use, the general structure of the song. But with Heirloom, we got in with like more of a basic idea. So we had like all the riffs and that written and all the lyrics, but we didn't really piece anything together in terms of structure until we got to the studio. And it's turned out actually to be one of our favourite songs due to the help of Miroslav and us all working together. And it's ended up sounding brilliant, really. And one of the most emotional ones, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's got a slightly different feel to the other two tracks where Bleak was quite a heavy one, I was more like a techie one, and this one sort of fits in between the two. It's got some heavy bits, it's got some techie bits, it's got then quite a lot of the verses, they're really like stripped back and more atmospheric.
Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting blend of a couple of things that we've been wanting to sort of get into the music a bit more.
Yeah.
A lot of the orchestral sections as well, which we sat together and worked with our producer. They work really well, and like they aid towards the overall feel of the song, I think.
Yeah. So you guys, when you took these singles into the studio, then you said, right, this is the best stuff we've written and all the rest of it. And then Miroslav hears it and think, no, tweak this, tweak that, and tweak this. You take it kind of personally? Or did he actually add to the song? Do you think he's the sixth member of the band?
He's been really chill. He's been brilliant. And very respectful, and when he wants to like change anything or edit something.
Yeah, he was very aware of our input. Like, he wouldn't go ahead and do anything without our say so. But I respect Miroslav with how many bands he's worked with. He knows what he's doing. Obviously, he's got experience in the whole producing kind of thing. So yeah, I was happy to let him have a bit more creative influence over the songs.
So you would definitely work with him again?
100%.
I think we're planning to, yeah.
Good stuff. That's what I like to hear. But I take it with the 3 releases then, they're going to prelude something bigger from a Titan, a Deity. So for those that are waiting for this release, then how would you say it compares to your earlier material? And do you think you've found the sound that you've been looking for with your latest songs?
I'd say so. Like, we wanted to experiment with our sound a bit with this EP, I think. The last EP that we released, it all sounded like it was edging towards the techie kind of side. Do you agree, lads? Our last EP we released, we wanted more like a kind of so we can get more people into our music with this kind of music. So it's still heavy. It still retains like techie kind of elements, but we're pulling in like those big sounded, those soaring hooks, those choruses that we want people to be singing over and over again. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I hope the lads will agree with me that I'm happy. I'm more than happy with what we're releasing. I think it's the best stuff we've wrote since we started as a band.
Yeah, I think when we released Bleak, we really, like, when we first heard all the mix and stuff back for those tracks, we definitely felt that, like, from all aspects, it was a big step up from
Absolutely.
and the other singles that we released in the meantime.
So what do you think that is? What do you think's made that big leap? Do you think it's maybe one of the quieter musicians in the band just came to the forefront and brought a hell of a lot more ideas into that? Or is it just with COVID, you've listened to a lot of different music and you've brought those influences into the band?
I think we just had a lot more time with the songs compared to before. Before we'd go into practice, bash out a few riffs, probably start writing we do a lot of writing with Mitch in his living room, actually. Sit around like Guitar Pro, we've got our guitars and stuff. I'm like, does that work? Does this work? But we have to think differently with COVID. We have to bring a lot more of our A game, a lot more ideas to the table. We thought a lot more about how can we be a little bit different this time? How can we do something that sounds a little bit more unexpected?
You certainly have. Like I said to you earlier on, I'm more into my death metal and things like that, so I shouldn't like you guys, but I do. And what I especially like is the mixture of the singing. I love the mixture of the clean singing, and they're pretty much almost growls. They're not your typical metalcore screaming vocals. And to be honest with you, this sounds funny coming from a death metal fan, but I just don't like screaming vocals. But I can take to your vocals, Luke. And Ben, you've got a brilliant voice, mate, so keep doing what you're doing. But it comes to the question, I love, one of the best bands that I've seen was Nile, because it had 3 vocalists, and that just absolutely floors me live. Love it. So the question has to be asked, Ashley, why are you not singing?
I'm tone bloody deaf, that's why.
No, we always say this. He's got the volume to be a great singer. Like, he can project his voice so well. He just needs to work on his tone. And
I have actually done some singing in terms of so we played a show at Subside for was it their 20th anniversary? 20th, 30th anniversary.
That was a Scruff.
It was
that
something like that, wasn't it?
And,
That's Scruffy's,
and Ben couldn't make that show at Scruffy's. So I filled in on the backing vocal duties a little bit. So I mean, I can kind of belt out a tune. Takes me a few drinks first. But
Is it clean singing or is it the screaming?
oh no, I can't scream for shit. It's clean.
Clean? There you
You
go.
can do some squawks.
Yeah, they call me
Squawks.
Flappy in this band, so they just think I'm some kind of avian creature, don't they?
So you told us about there's going to be an EP then. So when we'll expect to get the EP released, and where did you record it? Was it with Miroslav again? What studios did you record it in?
Yes,
We recorded with Miroslav.
Yeah.
September time, if I'm allowed to leak that one.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. So what we're
ASAP.
doing is we're releasing our EP basically in singles. So
Yeah.
Leaks out, IO's out, Heirloom's out. Then the EP is now going to be out with the rest of the songs on that EP. So yeah, this will be the end of like the single phase. This is just leading up to the EP now. So what you hear, the next release will be, which we are actually filming a video for in a few weeks.
I was going to ask that, yes.
Keep your eyes peeled on that one. And then that'll be probably the last single which comes out with the rest of the songs. If all goes to plan.
Well, you know exactly where to send it to get some airplay, so we'll certainly do a bit to promote it here. But yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. But see, in the last couple of years, with everything that's happened, it's hard to keep your name out there. So have you guys maybe taken on roles that you hadn't taken on before to keep the name of A Titan, a Deity out there, like marketing and social media and stuff like that? Or do you have like a third party that takes care of that? Or are you just basically doing everything yourselves now?
We do pretty much everything ourselves, don't we?
Yeah.
Stemming from promotion to content. We're content machines. Like we'll take a video of one of us eating a sandwich and post it on our timeline just for a bit of content. Do you know what I mean? And the lads know about this. We're
living in that digital age now where content is absolutely key. So like the rise of TikTok and everything. Like we've all got our individual roles in the band. So like Ben's kind of more the social media guy. He does all the scheduling of the posts. Luke's like our graphic designer. He designs all of our like releases and stuff, and our merch designs. I'm more like the kind of the business side. Like I talk to all the like promoters and stuff. Keep our Google Drive in check and stuff. All our admin, and then like as for Mitch and Alex, well,
I will. I know what you're going to say. They don't do it, and that's why they're not here.
Nah.
You can't be saying that, slagging our own band off on a fucking interview.
Yeah, well, they're not here, are they?
No, but we love Mitch and Alex, of course.
We love them, really. Yeah,
we don't know where we'd be without them.
We all help out, really.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing as well. I've done a lot of interviews now, and it's interesting. Like the younger bands are like releasing singles every couple of months and keeping the names out there, whereas the older bands are still like album because it's got a beginning, middle, and an end. So every couple of years they'll release an album and stuff like that. But the younger generation are kind of keeping their name out there and doing the singles every couple of months. But how many songs are on the EP?
5.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we say? Yeah, there's 5 songs all in all.
Was there ever a discussion like about doing an album, or was it always going to be an EP? Are you quite slow songwriters? That's why you're just doing an EP.
Oh, God, yeah, there was talk of doing it at some point. We actually have like between 10 to 15 songs like written at that point, and we had to like, because of a cost perspective, of course, It was after COVID. It was really we lost a lot of money because things like that. So we had to like chop down some of the songs that we wanted, but rest assured that those songs will be probably making it onto the next release that we record later in the year, because it's like,
in other words, you wrote them. That's why they're getting.
Yeah,
that's why they're
mostly my ones.
All the others that we wrote as well since COVID as well. It's going to be a really tough one to choose the next lot of songs.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to piece it together.
Cool. Thanks very much for that, guys. But with the band being fairly settled on the band members front, well, I don't know about that now after what you just said 2 minutes ago. When constructing new material then, and with the band members having their own personal taste in music, how would you say that you keep it all together, for example, when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of a song?
That's really interesting because
that's a good question.
It depends, right? I think because some of the tracks that we've done will be either me, Ash, or Mitch will go, "Hey guys, here's pretty much a full song," and maybe a couple of things will be tweaked. Other times, it might be, "Oh, I've got a section," and then everyone else chips in and fills the rest of it out. And then some of them like completely collaborative from the start. So I think we've got a good blend of writers in the band and what we can then do from that. And same like with lyric and vocal structures as well.
So what you're saying is there's no fisticuffs in the studio or anything like that?
No, we were pretty good with like the parts. I think we all had a pretty clear vision of what we wanted these tracks to be.
Yeah.
Which was nice. There hasn't really been that many occasions of like going, "Oh, I want my riff in this song."
No, I was going to say there's been no
like
really,
there's
been no real disagreements.
Yeah.
No, it was surprising really. Like you'd think there'd be more riffs like in the studio, but
well, Ash, don't take this personally, but I was wondering if you were actually the moody one in the band. You're the hardest to please in the band. Would I be right in saying that?
No, our manager would beg to differ and probably agree with you on that one. But,
No, it's good stuff. It's good to hear that you're a tight-knit band, and I don't know whether you have a vote saying, right, that's all being kept in and stuff like that, you know. So I'd imagine you're all like talented musicians. If you wanted to do something different, you would have a wee side project or something like that, you know. But Luke, is Ben the type of guy that would send you a riff at 4 o'clock in the morning saying, "This is my best riff yet, by the way, you have to hear this"?
Well, I wouldn't say at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe 3, yeah.
We got loads of working projects that are like dated at 2 o'clock in the morning half the time. I mean, I was looking last night on all of our stuff we've written, and some of the times on them are ridiculous. At 2 a.m., why do I do this to myself?
Well, keep on going. But with Luke, with you being the main vocalist of the band, then do you take care of all the lyrics for the music, or were there contributions from other members of the band for the latest singles and for the remainder of the EP?
So I try and write lyrics whenever I can, whenever I'm feeling inspired, even if it's on the train, on my notebook, on my phone. If I'm feeling inspired, I'll just jot it all down in my notes, and I'll put the lyrics towards the lads, and if they feel like it needs tweaking here and there, then we'll go ahead and tweak it like to suit whatever we want. But yeah, the ideas from songs normally come from these guys writing like an original riff, and then it kind of developing into a song. And then I'll listen to like the overall vibe, feel of the song, and I'll link it to what I've wrote already, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously I'll converse with the lads as well and see if it fits the song as well as I think it does. I don't want it like. But yeah, it's a pretty straightforward kind of procedure. We just get shit done. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny you say that, because I think it's a talent in itself, because it's certainly something that I couldn't do. But with the single that's coming out on Friday, then Heirloom, what are the lyrical themes for it then?
Heirloom's a pretty personal song to me. It's about my late granddad, and it revolves around, I've got this old golden pocket watch that was granddad's, and it's pretty much all I've got left to remember him by. And I don't know, I was just holding it one day, and I was kind of inspired to write these lyrics about him, and I realised how much I actually do miss him, even though I deny it so much. I always pretend I'm fucking hard ass, but yeah, it's just a pretty nice song about missing someone in your life that meant something dear to you. So
it's definitely a song then to look at lyrically that it would be relevant to everybody, really.
100%. So, yeah. I like to create my lyrics so it's like kind of people can take their own meaning from it. It doesn't have to be like directed towards something in particular. Everyone can take their own meaning from it. So
cool.
Yeah, hopefully that's what people get.
Cool. But Ben, with you doing your clean singing, then Is it difficult for Luke sometimes to portray? Because I imagine when he's writing the lyrics, he's portraying you in his head, singing them. Has it sometimes been difficult for him to portray that message to you? Or if he just gives you the lines, he's just always happy with what it is that you produce?
I think there's definitely been a couple of times where I didn't really have a really strong melody or a really strong pitch for how I wanted that line to come across, and Luke did. So we went with that. But again, on the whole, we're pretty flexible with, again, like the structures of how the lyrics are shared, and which bit, who does what bit, and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite free in that respect. And that, again, really working in the studio, working with Slav, so that all three of us were sort of structuring that together and trying to figure out which bit was best for who, and then what we could do to then not make it like standard, like verse, scream, melodic chorus, scream, verse, chorus, outro. So, we tried quite a lot of different stuff vocally on these tracks.
Cool. I've just thought of a bonus track for your next EP. Then get one with Ashley singing on it, just as a 30-minute. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do a song longer than 30 seconds for Ashley singing on it.
Yeah,
just like 2 straight minutes.
Big loop.
2 straight minutes of incoherent Big Bird screaming.
Good stuff.
Bonus track.
Good stuff. That's great. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Then, so as it's been it was a difficult 18 months, 2 years then to go out and promote your music on the live front. Were there any discussions? I saw a number of virtual gigs over the course of COVID when restrictions were eased a wee bit. Was there ever any discussions about getting into the studio, getting a room or something like that, and doing a set or anything?
Yeah, we was looking at a place up in Leeds, weren't we? But just before we were going to go and do that, they'd announced like the lifting of restrictions. So, and all the gigs started coming in again. Literally, like less than a month after that, we were back on the road.
Yeah.
We've done a few little like live segments, Q&As, and that to try and like
keep the name out there.
The audience, yeah. And then like we had when we could do stuff outdoors again, we had a little gig for some close friends outdoors doing acoustic stuff. That's as far as we got, really.
Did you sing in that set?
Yeah, had Luke out because he's too drunk.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying anything. It was my own house. I was allowed to do it.
That's playing beer pong.
That's the thing. I saw some virtual gigs and I was like, this really isn't working. The best one I saw was Ingested up in Manchester, and but they would have had a budget of thousands of pounds to do that. It was almost like a professional DVD release, but you had the ones that were the smaller in-house stuff, and I was like, is that really doing your band any good? So I've had a lot of bands say yes, we were thinking of doing it, but we didn't, and no, because we've seen some and didn't look good. So, but again, it's just about keeping the name out there, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Our friends in Recorder Remains did one, I think, and Neverhall, they also did one.
Two very good bands. I've interviewed them. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were really good, those ones. So if we would have done one, we probably would have gone down the route that they did. But we missed the boat, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Too busy writing songs, I think.
Yeah, proper
that's
writing.
Yeah. Working on these new tracks.
That's in the past then. So have you played gigs recently, and what plans do you have in the very near future then to promote this EP?
Oh boy, we've been playing so many shows.
Yes.
We've just recently played Tech Fest, which was like a milestone for us. We've wanted to play Tech Fest for ages. And we really enjoyed it. It was a class weekend. I couldn't have asked for a better turnout. There's some movement in the crowd and everything. I was feeling myself, I was vibing. It was great. It was a great time.
I think we'll just leave that there. I think we'll just leave that there. You were feeling yourself, but
Clip that up here and send it to us. We'll put it on
Now
the
we get
sound.
to rest
in my one-man tent, that was definitely a two-man tent, but it was definitely a one-man tent at the
Was
same
it?
time.
You're making it worse.
Couldn't even get
You're
it.
making it worse.
Postbox.
Couldn't even get a cat in there.
So Tech Fest. So what have you got? What have you got in the future then?
Oh, we've got quite a few now. So we're playing this Thursday with Dropout Kings and Borders.
Orders and Overthrown.
Borders. I've interviewed them as well. They're a good band.
Yeah,
those
they're
Tech
smashing it at the moment and playing download and everything. Then we've got a headliner on Saturday for Rock the Foundry. That's at Tap and Tumbler with Hounds and Realms. Hounds again, absolutely killing it right now. Really looking forward to that one. And then we're off to London 2 weeks after that, isn't it? Got Camden Rocks.
For Cannon Rock show.
Camden Rocks, baby.
Excellent.
Which will be fun.
Excellent.
And then I think we've got some unconfirmed stuff, haven't we? From September onwards. Ben, you could probably give more insight on that.
Well, I was actually going to ask. Remember, there is a country a wee bit further north than England. Have you come up to Scotland before?
We were supposed to. We had a couple of shows cancelled because of COVID.
Yeah. We were meant to play Bannerman's, wasn't we?
Bannerman's.
Edinburgh.
Brilliant venue. Edinburgh. It's a brilliant venue.
Yeah, that was. We were meant to be on a tour with Sugar Boom just before the pandemic. But yeah, we found it difficult to get up to Scotland just because we don't really. We struggle to find anyone that will put on shows. Like, we don't really know any contacts up there. We've made it as far north as like Manchester way, and we just got to keep going further north.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I know. What's his name? There's Hamilton Hunter. There's Ivory Blacks, and the one that friggin' goddamn promotions, Craig. Craig Law. I would highly recommend them. So you've got Craig Law, you've got Hamilton Hunter, or you've got Ivory Blacks. They're right in central. They're right next to the train station, so it's easy for people to get to. But if you're looking to come up or anything like that, just give us a wee text or something like that, and I'll give you the names and stuff. But Craig Law of Goddamn Promotions at the moment, he's doing really well with things. We're actually just put on our first festival as well. I've organised a festival for December, so I'm kind of shitting a brick as well, you know, like need to sell tickets. So yeah, I can see why Ivory Blacks is probably the best place to play, because a lot of unsigned or independent or local bands play that venue, and it's a 350 venue, so it's a good size.
Yeah.
And you've had huge bands like Napalm Death and Cattle Decapitation and all that play there, so it's a good venue. But give us a shout if you do manage to come up this way. But what I would also suggest is maybe not do Glasgow and Edinburgh. I don't know if it would kind of split the crowd a wee bit, but I would, if you've got the time and the capacity, go further north. Like, say, Aberdeen, for example. They're screaming for gigs. Every time there's a metal gig up in Aberdeen, and a band like Deadfire or something like that would always put it on for you, and they would support and everything like that, and you'll be guaranteed a crowd. But it's just, I think you're one of these bands that will just play anywhere if it's feasibly possible.
100%. I'd love to go to Scotland though, lad. 100%. Scotland would be amazing.
That would be great.
I love Scotland. Yeah, I haven't been in a few years. When Edinburgh, it was great.
Yeah, I love Edinburgh.
I was there last weekend, actually. I was in Edinburgh last weekend. I won't tell you what concert it was at, but it was at the Edinburgh Castle, so you can guess it was a more commercial 80s band, but that's enough of that. Moving on. So, yeah, I think it's just a case of we've got a couple of simple questions left. So who do you rehearse and who do you record your songs? I think we kind of touched on that a wee bit earlier. And how often do you get together? Because I understand that Ben's down in London. So how does that work out when you've got like a 5-date tour or something like that?
Well, we rehearsed down at Pirate Rehearsal Studios in Birmingham, and Ben drives all the way from London every time that we rehearse. So fair play to him. He's been doing this for years as well. Like, I can't commend the guy enough for doing it. Yeah, and I'll pass it on to you, man.
Hasn't aged himself. So we rehearse in Pirate, usually in Birmingham, but because there's pirates all over the shop, then we can sort of tailor it to where we are. So as I said, we've got a gig in Nottingham on Saturday, so we'll probably go to the Pirate in Nottingham on Saturday to rehearse. And then, I'd say we probably, depending on how many shows we have booked, we probably get one or two rehearsals booked in a month, don't we?
Yeah.
Various places.
You must be feeling it a wee bit at the moment with the recent price hikes and petrol.
Yeah. Like, I got a really small car, so it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, cool. Excellent, thank you. Yes, so pretty much what's next for Titan and Deity then? You've got the EP, which you sneakily said is coming out in September. You're hopefully going on for a few gigs. Is the next thing the video then? So who's the one that comes with the ideas for the video then?
Ooh, we really struggle, don't we, for ideas sometimes? So we have to kind of like cobble something together.
A lot of them come from, we'll have a general idea, but then Scott from Dark North, who is on as well, and then sort of pieces that all together into something proper. Yeah, I'd say.
Is it quite draining as well? Like you arrive there and you play it for the first time at 11 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock you're still there and you're playing the same bloody song.
We say this every time that we're going to get tired of the song.
It's more that like we play to like a metronome that comes out the speakers as well, so it keeps us all in time with the video. So it's more you just hear the beep 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 for the like 7 hours, and then
for like 7 straight hours.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. Like it was it the IO shoot? We had all the studio lights and it was fucking roasting in there.
Oh yeah.
Imagine doing that today.
Oh no.
Could you imagine?
I'd be a
my god.
Well, we've got a bloody shoot in a few weeks. Like it very well could be 35 degrees again or something.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is the video going to be outside or are you going to be inside the building?
This one's outside, I think, isn't it?
I bet it's outside, isn't it? Yeah.
It's like outside, inside. It's going to be warm, maybe.
I suppose all the torture though.
I
suppose all the torture though of playing the song umpteen times in the monotone and all the rest of it. When you see the end product, you say, "Yeah, that was definitely worth it."
Yeah, we go in all our videos.
Yeah,
we bring the energy.
So who is it that edits them for you and puts it all together? Are you using the one guy for all of them, or are you using different guys for like Heirloom, for example?
No, that'll be Scott. Scott's responsible for all the videos that were released since. First one we released was Bleak, wasn't it? Yeah, since Bleak, he's responsible for all our videos.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. You're not shy about doing videos. Sometimes a band would just put out one, maybe two, if it's a 5-6 song EP. But you've pretty much done a video for every single song. I think he's just loved the camera. That's what it is.
We spent so long without doing a music video before Bleak. I think our last music video before Bleak was like how many years ago, lads?
I am sentient. Yeah,
maybe. I am sentient. That was one of the most weird experiences of my life.
Yeah. But things must be going quite well for the band then to do all these videos, and because the locations and the videos and the equipment and the hiring and all the rest of that costs money. So you must be getting a lot of like attention on, I was going to say Spotify and stuff, but you must be like selling a lot of merch and getting good sales at gigs and stuff like that in order to pay for these.
Well, you'd like to think a lot of it comes out of my back pocket. It's we recoup a fair bit of it. Like I'd like to say, like we did quite well at Tech Fest and that.
It's still a fair bit of merch,
but it's still, we don't make any money as a band.
Yeah,
we never have, and we probably won't for like years to come. It's just how you have to be like, even bands as big as like Tesseract and Periphery, like in our genre. The only way they are financially like stable is because they've got other ventures that they get as a result of their band's popularity.
Yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. Well, keep dreaming. You never know; it might happen one day. You might just release the one song and boom, it explodes. You know, so you just need to release that one song, which I'm pretty sure you will. But this is the question. That's it. Well, that's the thing. I mean, I've looked at your viewing figures for YouTube. I think it was like 35,000 and 30,000 for an underground band. That's a lot of views. You know,
it's along those lines, isn't it? We're quite proud.
They've done really, really well. I don't think we ever thought that we'd get those sorts of numbers for YouTube.
We had like a ballpark figure of like 10,000, maybe to 15,000, but to hit like double that and get the amount of like Spotify's done well as well. Like we've like normally like in our past few releases we've gone up to like 800-900 listeners and then we've just dropped back down again. But this we've got like a sustained level of monthly listeners and streams.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're finally doing things correctly this time.
Good. I mean, that's what you've got to do, isn't it? You've got to learn the lessons of what to do and what's right and what's wrong. So, but we're almost at the end. But this is the question I like to ask. Before the internet, then magazines and fanzines were the places to find out about new bands and trends. But now publications are being replaced with thousands of websites catering for all genres. So, do you think that some of the passion has been lost, or do you think that the internet has been a good thing for music and a good thing for a Titan, a Deity?
It's definitely been a good thing. I'd say so. Yeah, 100%.
Why?
Because just the amount of opportunities we've got to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Promote ourselves. So we can promote ourselves on a lot more platforms with the internet than we could do otherwise. I'm pretty sure the lads will agree with that.
Yeah.
I think
it's
definitely positive in that sense, but because everyone's got access to so much more stuff, it's then harder to cut through because everyone can do the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
A lot easier. So yeah, it's got its pluses and its minuses. It's just trying to promote yourself in the right way and keep chugging along with getting the name out there, getting decent out there, and that sort of stuff, really.
Yeah. Cheers, Ben. Thank you. What about you, Ash? What do you think?
I don't think anything will beat that amazing feeling of being in a magazine like Kerrang or Metal Hammer.
Crap.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with Ben and Luke. It's a lot easier now to get out to more like the masses now, like platforms like TikTok and Instagram. You can do like some stupid like 30-second clip, and if people like it, it really just goes mad. Like in particular, like, TikTok's been really good for us in that sense. Like we never would have thought about promoting ourselves on something like that, but we just put out some clips of our like live shows or like a preview of our track, like, and it's getting like thousands of views every time and multiple comments, and it's really good. Like it's just like we're back in the day. It used to be just for us. It used to just be Facebook, but we've branched out to other platforms, and we find that Facebook's probably like the one that people interact with the least now.
Yeah.
It's probably more Facebook's fault than anything else.
Absolutely. But it's funny how you say back in the day we looked at Facebook first. I was like, oh, you're going back to tapes and vinyl and CDs and stuff. I mean, I grew up. I'm a wee bit older than you guys. Like CDs should be burned because it was all cassettes and vinyl, and then you'll get a magazine and you'll send like a £1 note and you send it to a band, and a couple of days later you'll get a demo tape back and you would listen to it. And I don't know if I like this, but because you've invested in it, you would listen to it again and again and give the band a fair chance. Whereas now, like you're saying, you can go into Spotify, press click, 6 seconds, nah, that's shit. And you instantly dismiss the band because you know there's another million bands out there doing the same kind of style. So you just instantly dismiss the band. But then again, it must be absolutely brilliant for you guys looking up the analytics and things and seeing that you've got fans in Chile or Taiwan or something like that. It must be totally crazy that people have heard your music from far and wide.
Yeah, it's mad. When we look at the analytics like that, it is crazy. Like we had a few monthly listeners from North America. I think was it a few months back.
Yeah,
and that blew my mind. That people from America are listening to our music. That blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah,
it's thanks to like platforms like yourself though that allow us to have that reach. You never know who might be listening or watching. Like it's a worldwide thing, the internet, and that's those kind of things that help us get to these people that would never normally listen to us if the internet didn't exist.
It's a shame though that like you always love the physical product, and it's a shame that bands don't make any money now from CD sales. You probably only, I mean, I know a big record label like Transcending Obscurity, they only do like 300 CDs at a time now because nobody buys CDs anymore. So, but hey ho, yes, we can talk about it for ages over a pint and stuff. But this is probably where we're going to talk for the next 40 minutes again. I'll probably have to do another login because we're going to talk about the instruments that you used for the recording of the EP. So let's go with you, Ben. What's your setup? What guitar do you use? What's your pedals and things?
So for this EP was the first time that we did a different tuning, I think, in the band. So we had to get a couple of other guitars to cater for that. So
that was just an excuse to get a new guitar, wasn't it?
He's got bloody 11. He's just buys one every week.
You're turning up at the studio with your battered and bruised one guitar.
So yeah, we had a good couple to choose from for recording. I think most of the rhythm parts, Ash, were done on your two.
Yeah. Do you want to carry on with yours or?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the main ones that I used for leads were I got a custom guitar built during COVID from a guy in the Netherlands called Van der Mage Guitars, and he's awesome. He was awesome to work with, and that was what I used for our lower tunes stuff for the leads. Then I think the other I tracked were on a 6-string.
I was going to ask you, the custom made guitar, is it a 6 or 7-string?
7. All the stuff that we use live is a 7, but I use.
You actually use the 7-string, or you're just showing off?
No, we use it probably more than any of the other strings.
Cool. So, what about pedals?
Pedals, we don't really have Mitch probably has the most pedals out of us.
Yeah.
I run a line 6 board through a power amp, and Ash does the same with the Helix. So
under there.
We use
Yeah. Thanks very much for that. Thanks, Ben. Thank you. What about you, Ash?
I've got 2 that I use live. So I've got an Ormsby SX Shark. It's a limited edition. They only made about 150 of them, I think.
Oh, limited edition.
Yeah. It's not custom or anything though. And that's it's what we call a fan fret guitar, like Ben's. So multi-scale. It allows us from more comfortable playing when you're playing like many strings.
Is it 6 or 7? I take it it's 7 then.
Yeah, both 7. And then I've got my trusty Ibanez RGA IX7U that I use. So the Ormsby's for like drop F sharp tuning. Use that on the record to do, because most of the songs are in a drop F sharp bar 1. So that was used for the rhythms. And then the drop A song that's on the EP and all the ones prior to that tracked on the Ibanez RGA IX7U IM label with the bare knuckle pickups and ash body. Lovely workhorse that is. But I might think about changing the guitars after what I saw at Tech Fest. So a company called Ben's got one on order. It's a Dutch company called Aristides. And I was just playing their guitars and they're fucking amazing. Like so stable and like
amazing,
so
but
easy to
dear.
play.
Amazing but expensive.
Yeah, a bit expensive, yeah. And then I run into I recently bought a Line 6 Helix. I used to have an Axe Effects, but I think it's quite large really, because you don't want to be carrying a big massive rack unit to shows anymore when you can do the same thing in a pedal. So I'll take that. And then me and Ben have both got Zilla cabs that we don't play as much as we'd like to, because usually if we're supporting a band that have them there, but we really like bringing the Zillas to shows because they sound kick-ass, really.
That's sick.
Yeah, they sound big.
Do you realise that with you both playing 7-string guitars, you've got more chance of a string breaking live? You must be like, panic!
Touch wood that's not happened yet.
It's never happened, has it?
No, it's
not on my 7s. Passive with other gigs.
It's happened. Yeah, it happened at another gig, didn't it?
Yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff. But look, with you being the vocalist then, have you went through a range of microphones before you've settled on the sound of one particular microphone, make and model, or you just give me an SM58 and I'll fucking sing into it?
Literally, give me anything. It don't even have to be a microphone. Just give me anything, and I'll fucking scream obscenities at you. Just give me anything. I'm there for a good time.
Cool. That's what I thought you were going to say. You've got that kind of face. That's what I thought you were going to say. But are you the same, Ben? Especially with you doing clean vocals, do you have a particular microphone that you use? Again, it's just the SM58, for example.
Yeah, and anything that works, and yeah, as long as the monitor mix on stage is good, then don't really, like Luke, I don't really care about what microphone is.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. I think we've found out pretty much everything about a Deity and a Deity for now. Maybe a couple of wee exclusives. But like I said, as soon as the single comes out on Friday, send it to us. We'll play it on Moshville Radio as well. We'll at least get it on 2 different DJ shows. I might even squeeze it into mine, even though I play more extreme metal. I might squeeze it in for you guys. But if it's a ballad, no chance. But yeah, we'll certainly do a bit here at Moshville Times as well. It certainly won't be the last time we'll talk. It will be over everybody's socials, and I look forward to seeing you in the live front, hopefully.
Sweet, man.
But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys.
Likewise, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. It's been great.
Yeah, it took a few weeks to get here, but we got here and it's been good. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks.
Wicked, man.